So I wanted to cover this because it was quite interesting. So a couple of weeks ago, I think Zuckerberg went on the Joe Rogan show. I've not watched it yet, but I saw the clip where he basically said um, AI will replace mid-level engineers by 2025. I think this is all just before the DeepSeek stuff, all the drama there recently. And yeah, I thought we could cover it and then even look at what a mid-level engineer is and sort of come to our own thoughts. So I just asked ChatGPT, but um, leave your thoughts below, of course. So, Mark Zuckerberg recently claimed AI will replace mid-level engineers. As someone building AI developer tools and studying their real-world implementation, I believe this fundamentally misunderstands both the current state of AI and the role of mid-level engineers. Here's what Meta's missing. Of course, to make that claim, you sort of have to define what a mid-level engineer is, which we'll try and do. But let's see how it's going to go. So, the current reality. I'll leave this post in the description, by the way. Current AI coding assistants excel at specific tasks, generating boilerplate, explaining code, and helping with routine programming tasks. I can definitely agree with that. It's good at that. But there's a crucial gap between writing isolated functions and understanding complex systems. Agree with that too. Even like games, I tried writing a game just in Pygame with ChatGPT, and it starts off really well until you get to a certain point and you start explaining the issues you're having, giving it the code, and then it starts to really break apart and fall apart. It's good at specific things, which is how you should use it, but it does fundamentally start failing at bigger tasks. So look, AI coding tools are already impressive. Absolutely, I love them. Companies like Lovable. I don't know what Lovable is. I've used a little bit of Bolt. I'm gonna give it a better try when I actually build it. I've got a few ideas for websites, but Lovable, what LLM? I don't know what that is. Is it like a dating LLM? I don't want to know. You can have a LLM girlfriend. It actually looks very similar to Bolt LLM. I guess they all have the same sort of interface, so... where is it? Surprised that doesn't actually come up. I guess it's like Bolt.ai. Is it Bolt? Yeah. Looks like it was like built with the exact same. I guess it's slightly different. Full stack engineer. Anyway, we're getting distracted as always. Both make 4 million. Is that a year or a month? I don't know. Are showing real value, but they're thriving in a completely different space, helping indie developers build from scratch, assisting with smaller projects, turning non-developers into casual coders. Fair enough. And turning coders into even better coders, I assume. That's valuable, but it's not exactly the same thing as maintaining Meta's massive code base. Something which is quite interesting is I do feel like almost we had this like no-code revolution. I don't actually know anyone who uses no-code tools, which was a thing like a couple of years ago, and I feel like all of that time and energy that's gone into those, and now we've got something that's arguably already better. I feel like I might be wrong. Like obviously that they're not mutually exclusive. You could have like a no-code, low-code platform which uses AI, but yeah, it almost feels like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I imagine they exist because they make money. So, the problems. So, in building your own AI developer tools and surveying 87 developers about their experience, I've identified 3 fundamental challenges that separate AI from mid-level engineers. Again, we need a definition. I wish they'd I mean, it's hard to do because people would disagree, but I wish they'd defined a mid-level engineer. So context, mid-level engineers maintain a comprehensive mental model of the system architecture. Should we see what Google says? Define, not divine. Also, that's not how you spell divine. Divine is D-I-V-I-N-E. Define mid-level engineer. A mid-level engineer refers to an engineer with several years of professional experience beyond a junior level but not a senior level. Blah, blah, blah. Typically 3 to 5 years. Experience, technical skills, Able to execute projects with minimal supervision. Yeah, can troubleshoot issues independently. Work effectively within a team. Teamwork is an interesting one. Responsibilities, take ownership of assigned tasks. Sure. I've already got this open somewhere, so I'm going to close it. But I might give Lovable a go. Is it free? I mean, not free, but like, is there like a free version? Oh, was that the $50 a month launch? Everything free. Anyway, I don't care that much. Not right now. We got bigger things to do. So current AI tools are unable to keep large code bases in context. Yeah, I feel like this is like the biggest thing. I think once this problem is solved, they're already going to be like 10 times better. I think tools like Devon are trying to do that. And I guess ChatGPT now I think has that option to like have a project. So all those probably had it for a while. So making it impossible to reason about system-wide impacts. True. Yeah, we all know, I'm sure you've all done it, where you've got multiple files you're working with and you're having to put into ChatGPT like, oh, I'm doing this, my other file looks like this, my tests look like this. So memory. Engineers retain crucial historical context about the code base. They understand why certain architectural decisions were made. True. Which optimization attempts failed, and what edge cases led to current implementations. AI tools lack this persistent understanding, treating each interaction as a new problem. Yeah. These all feel like these definitely are problems that can be solved, though, without a doubt. Like you could have a place to say why decisions were made. So engineers excel at understanding cross-system interactions. They can identify potential performance bottlenecks. And also, this is the thing, right? It's not even just like a single code base, because you can have multiple repositories you're working with and multiple other services. And this is like really common, you know? So you'd have to know like the whole system architecture. Or you'd need like an LLM, I guess, implemented with each one. System thinking, and then connect them sort of, or share knowledge between them. So systems thinking, engineers excel at understanding cross-system interactions. They can identify potential performance bottlenecks, predict cascading effects of change, and spot hidden dependencies. Sure. So the path to truly effective AI development tools requires solving several fundamental technical challenges. I don't know why I put an A in there. Advanced code understanding. What's this? Why is there like a S to the T? We need AI systems that can maintain persistent models of the entire code base. Yep. This includes understanding architectural patterns, which is why I think there's going to be like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether this will just be like one thing or whether you'll have like almost SaaS, where your system you're working on will be integrated into the specific like model, and then they will sort of work on making it optimized for your specific system. Or whether we'll be able to make something that's, I mean, I'm sure we can make something generic, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see when and how that happens. Current research in program analysis and semantic code understanding shows promise, but we're still far from production-ready solutions. Future systems, so temporal code-based analysis, future systems will need to understand code evolution over time. This means tracking architectural decisions, failed approaches, and the reasoning behind current implementations through Git history, PRs, and documentation. I was going to say, that was the first thing that came to my mind, is just like, you keep track of your Git history. And casual reasoning about code changes. So, multi-agent development. The complexity of software development suggests a multi-agent approach. Yep, I've always thought this. Well, I say always. Since I've started thinking about it, I've always thought there's going to be many AIs, LLMs, not a single one. A planning agent that breaks down high-level requirements into specific technical tasks, which is why I think they talk about AGI being sort of possible. Because it'll be like if it won't be AGI, but if it looks like AGI and sort of feels like AGI, then it's good enough. So this requires knowledge of a system architecture. So when I say AGI, I'm talking about, like Sam Altman and OpenAI, what they're considering AGI to mean. And I think actually they said that AGI to them is just once they've made like 100 billion in profit or something, which is a stupid definition. Our experiments show this agent needs to maintain a graph of system dependencies and understand technical debt implementations. Implementation agents specialize by domain, front-end, back-end infrastructure that understands specific ecosystem best practices, blah, blah, blah. A testing agent that combines property-based testing approaches. I think the testing part is really easy. I've even since the beginning of ChatGPT being released, I thought it's really good at testing code because it can look at the code and write your tests for you. It might sometimes miss some. You'll be like, actually, I want a test for this. But the tests, generally speaking, work. But again, once you start making your test suite more complex, it needs that additional context. So yeah. Something that's always been annoying as well is like you have to specify to match the style. It's all weird to me that you can give it some code and it won't necessarily match the style of the code. Although I guess that, I don't know my thoughts on that. Maybe that's, yeah. Maybe it should default to that though. I don't know, maybe it should default to writing the best code possible, I suppose. Maybe your code's trash. So review agent that checks for architectural consistency, performance implications, and security considerations. Yeah, so the system-wide stuff is what interests me the most. It's like once you have like a fully integrated system with all your tools, that's when you're really in business. The building blocks are there: large language models, graph, databases for code understanding, advanced retrieval systems. But we're not teaching AI to write code, we're teaching it to think about code the way experienced developers do. Okay. So the evolution of... I need a drink. The evolution of software engineering. The real transformation won't be replacement, but evolution. Okay. Yes and no. We're seeing the emergence of, hopefully, I don't know where I fall on this yet. Do we agree with what Zuckerberg said? If a developer can do 100 times more, then I want way more developers. Or is the actual reality, because that's only really true if you have an infinite amount of work, really, But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess if your return on investment per each, I guess that makes, I don't know. I need to think about that a bit more because I don't quite agree with Zuckerberg there, because it really does, like, this is only sort of true if you need all of that extra productivity. There probably comes a point where you don't need it unless you're just building things for the sake of it. So we're seeing the emergence of two distinct specializations. I proper went off on a tangent there, and I don't know how articulate I was because it was all just in my head. It's actually just based on the previous video, so go watch that. Traditional software engineers will increasingly focus on high-level system design, architectural decisions, and complex business logic. Rather than being replaced, they'll be elevated. Sure, but you'll need less. Now you don't need... So you were saying it won't be replacement, but evolution. Sure, you're not wrong, but now, rather than needing those 3 developers or 4 people to do the job, you need 1 person to do the job. The mundane parts of their job, boilerplate code, routine debugging, basic feature implementation will be handled by AI. True. This lets them focus on what humans do best, understanding business context, making architectural decisions, and solving real problems. Yeah, we'll all become like... The technical stuff won't really matter, like all code is trash, and the implementation really won't matter that much. It will just be, can this software do what I want it to do? Will emerge a new role. AI engineering specialists will emerge as a new role, focused on building and maintaining AI-enhanced development environments. That's actually a good point. I've not heard anyone else say that. I like that. Yeah, there will be new AI specialists that will entirely focus on the AI infrastructure of a company, or even just the technical parts. And if you're working for a company that's sort of consultancy, there'll be lots of these people because they might be working on hundreds of projects, and each one of these projects might need someone doing that. So yeah, unless they have their own in-house one. So designing prompt architectures for different development scenarios, building and maintaining custom training sets. This is what I was talking about. Oh. Developing tools for AI-human collaboration and developer workflows, optimizing AI systems. Blah, blah, blah. Both roles will require strong software engineering fundamentals, but with different specializations. So, yeah. I think I can agree with that. So the new reality, or a new reality, like a new hope. The future I see isn't about AI replacing developers, just some of them. It's about fundamentally transforming how we build software. Imagine engineers spending 80% of their time on creative problem solving instead of routine implementation. Yeah, it would be great. That's all people want for themselves, right? You want to actually build the thing you want to build. You don't want to spend 4 days working on a bug you don't understand. Development velocity increasing by an order of magnitude while maintaining quality. Systems that catch subtle bugs before they reach production by understanding their entire code base. Teams focusing on innovation while AI handles the implementation. Yeah, I do like it. I do think I think it could be crazily amazing. I think my only issue with all of this is just technology has always developed faster than politics, so it sort of can policies and policymakers keep up with this and make sure people are okay. But yeah, from a technological point of view, I think it's really cool. And I think it'll be even cooler when it leaks into the physical world rather than just the digital world. So yeah, we'll see where this all goes. Guess we can have a look at that. Software development, system design architecture, debugging. I asked, by the way, what sort of task would you expect a mid-level engineer to be working at Meta to be able to do? So I reckon AI can definitely do that. Yeah, I mean, anything that's just technical can do that. Can do that. Fix bottlenecks can probably do that. It wouldn't be able to just do that by default. External. Use Meta's developer tools. Again, once you're integrated, working on Meta's monorepo, deploy and monitor services. Can probably do that. We need a person to actually probably push the button, to be honest, unless you're really happy and confident with the AI. Work with product managers, communicate technical decisions. I guess it could technically, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know where you fall on all of this. Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. So yeah, let me know your thoughts below.